Hi, Wallace Nelson, CEO of Melise. I just wanted to jump on a live for a few minutes tonight and talk about a historic court case that has concluded this week that links Monsanto and their weed-killing agent glyphosate, which is found in Roundup and a number of their other products, to some sort of long-alleged health issues, including being possibly cancer causative, as well as being a potential contributor to conditions like autism. At any rate, has been speculated for a long time is quite unhealthy for us. And there was a court case that went down where a groundskeeper in California basically sued Monsanto, or not he himself, somebody sued on his behalf because they believed that it was causative of his terminal cancer. And a court did indeed find Monsanto at fault in this case and awarded nearly $300 million in this suit. It's, from the legal side, it's interesting. It's really opened the floodgates. As a follow-up, there's more than 8,000 suits alleging glyphosate and Monsanto's role in causing numerous various and sundry different types of diseases. And, while it really hasn't been a secret to anyone that these ingredients, these chemicals were super unhealthy, I thought it'd be good to jump on here and talk about them specifically now that it's directly in kind of the public attention, the public light, because knowing that this is something that's, becoming more and more widely accepted, let's talk about what the risks are, and let's talk about how you can work to minimize those risks for yourself and your family and keep those that you love safe and healthy. So first of all, as I said, glyphosate is the weed-killing ingredient that's in a number of different Monsanto products. And the first time that I kind of heard about the potential health damage of glyphosate was in conjunction with a conference on autism that I was attending. Glyphosate has been believed by many in the autistic community for a number of years to be causative potentially in at least some cases of autism, due in large part to the facts that the direct symptoms of an overexposure to glyphosate, like for example, if you were to just spray glyphosate-based weed killer on your body, the direct effects of that overdose of glyphosate look just like the symptoms of autism, and they believe that there's a connection there. We also know that glyphosate has been found as a responsible causative agent in a number of different types of cancer. So, how do we need to be concerned about this? How can we avoid glyphosate if it's this dangerous ingredient interacting with our health, damaging our health, damaging the health of our families and those that we love? On the surface, you might just think, well, I won't go and use glyphosate-based weed killer, and that certainly is a good starting point. A good thing to do is avoid using those kind of known dangerous ingredients yourself. If for some reason you feel like you have to use them, make sure you're practicing the absolute utmost of caution in your exposure to those ingredients so that you're not getting them on your skin. Heaven's sake, make sure you're not ingesting them. Just be really, really careful with them. But beyond that, we kind of all have something that we need to worry about, and that is this, is how glyphosate interacts and plays into the conversation on GMOs and GMO foods that we're consuming. So many of the foods that are GMOs precisely because they have created Roundup-resistant versions of plants, wheat, corn, soybeans, and they've genetically modified them so that they can spray this glyphosate-containing weed killer directly on the plant and have that weed killer kill all the weeds that would compete with the plant but not affect the plant itself. So while that's very, very effective at growing, the glyphosate-resistant genetically modified plants and keeping all that competition out, what also happens is that micro doses of glyphosate are stored within each of these genetically modified, I guess you could call them foods. Probably not a good choice for foods, but I guess, many people are using them as foods. But each of these GMO plants retain some of that glyphosate. And so while you may not actually be going out and using glyphosate weed killer in your yard, or on your weeds, if you are eating GMO foods, you are consuming sometimes millions of microdoses of glyphosate along with those GMO foods. And they can damage your health in much the same way as if you're working with it. Obviously, the doses are smaller than if you're a commercial farmer or something, but nonetheless, this is a dangerous toxin that you are consuming into your body by the use of GMOs. So what do we do about that? First and foremost, avoid GMO foods as you can. There's a lot of debate on both sides of the issue, but two things are 100% certain about GMOs. First of all, we do not have a long track record, a long health history of how GMOs might negatively affect our health. In many, many ways, nobody can deny the fact that it's just an unknown whether it is something that is healthy or unhealthy or neutral or what. The other thing that we know about GMOs is if they are Roundup resistant GMOs, we know they contain glyphosate. We know they contain a chemical known to be carcinogenic, known to be damaging, and that if they contain that and you eat them, it gets into your body. So avoiding GMOs, avoiding openly known GMO foods is important. Avoiding processed foods that oftentimes contain GMOs is important. And then even in your supplements, many supplements that you're taking, ostensibly, sorry, there's a helicopter. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm gonna pause for just 1 second while this goes over. Kind of loud, I'm sorry. Hopefully everybody could hear me okay through that. But, you're ostensibly taking these supplements as health building products, but if they're supplements that are using GMO ingredients, you can actually be unknowingly consuming some poison, some toxins with that. So make sure that you are using a company that does what we do here at Melise, which is actually not just trust the fact that we're getting GMO-free ingredients. We actually test each batch of our products to verify that there is no GMO trace within that. We don't even unknowingly want to have, be giving you anything that is anything less than optimally healthy for your body. So make sure that you're using known GMO-free supplements. And lastly, if you've already been exposed, if it's like, hey, you know what, I've been using GMO foods, I've been using this type of weed killer in my yard. What do I do? I don't want it to hurt my health. The important thing is, for a ton of reasons, but this is just another great one to add to the list, make sure you are following a routine program of detoxification, where you're getting in 3-4 times a year, you're making time to detoxify, you're using the absolute right type of detoxification that is going to do the work of getting all of these potentially damaging, potentially harmful toxins out of your body before they're able to hurt you. Make sure that if you're already doing a regular routine, a regimen of detoxifying, but you're concerned that this may be affecting some of those you love, like let them know too. It's a health secret is great, but not so great if you keep it a secret. So make sure that those that you're concerned about, that you are sharing the information about detoxification with them. Make sure that you are regularly doing it in your life. Make sure you're doing everything you can to avoid GMOs, avoid exposure to glyphosate, and avoid all the potential harm that it could bring into your life and into the lives of your family. So thank you guys for watching tonight. I appreciate it. If you want, if there's some other stuff you'd like to talk about, you're always welcome to go ahead and throw into the comments on any of these live videos what topics, what health subjects, what current events in health news you would like us to discuss. In any questions, burning questions you have, we would love to be able to address those. I pop in from time to time when we have something interesting that happens health related in current events like this. Also, every single Monday morning on the Melise page here, we do a deep dive into a health issue that we think is one that you may like to hear about, and try to really cover it well and give you good information on that. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic